Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to our third video. In this video, we're going to be looking at what sort of expressions can be used for nikah. So let's read the Arabic first. وينعقد بلفظ النكاح والتزويج والهبة والتمليك والصدقة. وقال الشافعي رحمه الله تعالى: لا ينعقد إلا بلفظ النكاح والتزويج، لأن التمليك ليس فيه حقيقة ولا مجازا عنه، لأن التزويج للتلفيق، والنكاح للضم ولا ضم ولا ازدواج بين المالك والمملوكة أصلا. ولنا إن التمليك سبب لملك المتعة في محلها بواسطة ملك الرقبة، وهو الثابت بالنكاح، والسببية طريق المجاز. So we'll stop there, inshallah, with the Arabic. So I'm just going to be looking at question number 3. What's going on here? So let's look at the first part, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so according to the fuqaha of the Hanafi madhab, they say that a nikah contract is concluded with the words of nikah. So, when we say nikah, nakahtuha wa taqabbaltuha wa tazawwajtuha, these are expressions. So, nakahtuha wa tazawwajtuha, we say that these two expressions affirm or conclude the contract of nikah, these expressions. But we also say words like hiba. Hiba means to give someone or give something. With tamlik, transfer of ownership, and also what's called sadaqah, freely offering something. And we say that these sort of words, they're not exclusive, but these sort of words, if they are expressed in a nikah gathering, then they conclude the contract as well. And the idea is that it comes back to something very, very simple, which is this, what's in purple here. كل لفظ كل لفظ يدل على تمليك العين في الحال ينعقد به النكاح. Every word which alludes to ownership of something, rights and ownership to something at that very moment, is a way for the nikah contract to be concluded. That's what the asl, that's what's going on here. Just very much straightforward. There's no issues here for us. But Imam Marghinani, what he does, because he wants to train the student of knowledge and he wants the person who's reading this text to really think deeply about what's going on here, brings in Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah ta'ala. Imam Shafi'i says, وقال الشافعي, they say no, only the words nikah and tazweej can be used to conclude the contract of a nikah. Only those two words, nothing else. So you can't use hiba, you can't use tamlik, you can't use sadaqah, these sort of words. You can't say these things. They're not accepted to conclude the wedding contract. Why is that? So he explains, لأن التمليك ليس حقيقة فيه ولا مجازا عنه. That when you talk about ownership, so he's just using this example, but you can use other examples. Because when you use this word, say when you use the word tamlik, the literal meaning doesn't fit, nor the figurative meaning. The literal meaning, he says, لأن التزويج للتلفيق والنكاح للضم ولا ضم ولا ازدواج. Literally, when you use the word tamlik, there's no meaning of nikah. What's the meaning of nikah for him? It's the coming together, it's the joining, it's the union of two people. That's not happening when you use the word tamlik or any other word. Only when you use the word tazweej or when you use nikah, these words will in effect bring that about. That's what he says. It doesn't happen. We of course have a different view, so we respond. And he also explains why the figurative meaning doesn't work as well, because ولا ضم ولا ازدواج بين المالك والمملوك أصلا. So for Imam Shafi'i, these two issues are not happening. Figuratively also, because when you own something and the thing being owned, there's a tabayun, what's called a tabayun. They're two different things. They're two ontologically, if you like, distinct things. And so therefore, they're both different. And there's no link. Now, this is really crucial. There's no link between them, because he says, بين المالك والمملوكة أصلا. There's no link between the malik, the owner, and the thing being owned in any sense. So, if, for example, if you were to use an example of a slave and her owner, you have the owner who owns the slave, but there's no relationship between them two. It's just two ontologically distinct things. So, Imam Malik has seemed to have a very strong position. So he says, first of all, obviously in the literal meaning, which is joining and union are not found, joining and union are not found, and also in the figurative sense, there's no relationship between them. But we respond and say, no, hang on a minute, there is a figurative relationship, actually. So we say, وَلَنَا أَنَّ التَّمْلِيكَ سَبَبٌ لِمُلْكِ الْمُتْعَةِ فِي مَحَلِّهَا. Now, what is all this about? Well, let me just explain to you. Sometimes in language, we talk about the cause of something, but what we mean is the effect. For example, when I say to you, I want to gift you my pencil or my pen, in effect, what I'm saying is that I'm giving you ownership of it. It's all yours. You can have it. You can do what you want with it. Right? That's in effect. And often we sometimes do this. We talk about the cause, but what we really mean is what's called the effect. So we talk about the sabab, the cause, but we mean the effect. So I give you my pen. That's the cause. But in effect, what's happening, we say in English as well, effectively. In effect, I'm giving you ownership. I'm giving you rights of access. So we have this in language. So for example, when you make someone has tamlik, when someone has ownership, what you really mean is that they have rights of utilization of it. That's what we're saying here. وَلَنَا أَنَّ التَّمْلِيكَ سَبَبٌ لِمُلْكِ الْمُتْعَةِ فِي مَحَلِّهَا. In its right place, when you have ownership, tamlik of something, it's a cause for you to have rights of access to it. That's what we mean. And he's talking about the example of a slave. When a master owns a slave, in effect, what's happening is he has access to the slave. The slave is his. When you're gifted something, the word gift is used, but its meaning, its effect is that you have rights to it. That's what it means. When you give charity of something, you're saying you're giving sadaqah, but what you really mean is you're giving something for the pleasure of Allah to be utilized by the person who's receiving this sadaqah to be used um, in a way that is appropriate. So we don't always do this in language. We don't when we use a sabab, but what we really mean is the effect. Okay, so this is what's happening here. والسببية طريق المجاز, and the sabab, when we use a sabab, when we use a cause, it's just used in a figurative sense. So like for example in nikah, when we say nikah, what we really mean is that someone has exclusive rights to that person, right? Exclusive rights of utilization. When we say ownership, we mean tamlik. So basically, nikah can be used for tamlik, right? And that gives the same meaning, same effect, which is exclusive rights. And this comes down to a very simple principle, which I've written in Arabic here. إطلاق اسم السبب وإرادة المسبب. That you use the word of the sabab, you use a cause, you talk about a cause, but what you really mean is the thing the effect of it all. And just one final part before I conclude. This is also an important usul, that you say the cause which in effect you mean the effect, which is here, but it can't be the other way around. So you can't talk about the effect and mean the cause. Right? You can't say, something that leads to rights of exclusive rights of utilization, and you mean nikah. It can't work the other way around. It has to go from the asal to the fara, what we say in Arabic, and asal to the fara, from the principle to its subsidiary aspect, but you can't go the other way around. You can't go from what its outcomes are back to its asal. You can't do that. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we'll stop here, and inshallah in the next video we'll look at the other scenarios just to complete this discussion. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.